All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition, episode number 8, I believe, of the Marquee Show podcast here on the DJNTV Network. Super excited about tonight's guests. I've got two wonderful people that have both been part of the Marquee Show community. In fact, Matt was in year one of our initial inaugural presenters, and CP is our newest friend that joined us last year for the first time. And so super excited to have both of you guys here. Matt is now technically a retired DJ, except for what, hobbying and competing in the random DJ competition. Matt, is that fair?
I think that's a good way to put it. I'll take it.
All right. And then CP is my newest friend that I originally met, I think, briefly at Midwest DJs Live for about 2 seconds. And then Howard Wallach connected us to come out, and he joined us at Marquee, and he for some reason thinks that I'm a very well connected networked DJ. So his exact words every time I talk to him is he goes, "You know everybody, man. You know everybody."
Yeah.
I know a few people. So that's all. So let's start off. For those of you that don't know, Matt used to own Rock the House Entertainment, and I was fortunate enough to meet him, God, what, 20 years ago now? Something like that, when Rod Randall
It's
first
20
introduced
years.
us.
It's 20 years
Yeah.
ago, Casey. Can you believe it? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So, and then for those of you watching know, I founded a little group called Think Tank, and Matt joined us as a part of the Think Tank family. And then we just have been friends ever since. So, and that's it. So super excited to have you. So now you sold shortly before, during, or after COVID. I know it was right around that gray period. You sold what, 99%? I thought for some reason you have like 1% just for fun.
Yeah, I'm still a partner in the business, a very, very small
Okay.
shareholder. But yeah, sold sort of a little bit of both, Casey. The first half was right before the pandemic happened. And then
Okay.
for a number of reasons, we were already built for it. The new owner
Okay.
was able to take over completely right in the middle of the pandemic. And I was able
Okay.
to accelerate the exit of everything. And then, as you know, start mentor pods in the middle of the pandemic.
Right. So for those that are tuning in for the first time that may have heard your name, why don't you explain what MentorPods is to everybody?
MentorPods is a group coaching program, and to my knowledge, there's nothing else like they're out there that is exactly like it. We take 24 individuals over the course of an entire year, and we work on one lesson per week, but it's in a community format and it's taught live. So there's no pre-recordings, but there is a very specific curriculum. But on the front side of every single week, we do this thing called Open Door Focus Time, Q&A, and anybody can ask anything they want to their entire group, but they also have a chance to ask the entire extended community of MentorPods. So it's a group coaching program, but we work with you firsthand all year long. We teach you financials, marketing, sales, management, leadership, all the things that you need to run your business properly. Although we don't just focus on entertainment, although I will say it's about 80% of our makeup of who's in the program, Casey.
So when you say you don't focus on entertainment, you focus on the business fundamentals, sales, marketing, business
No,
management, or
thanks for clarifying. What I mean is that the types of businesses that are in Mentor Pods are
okay,
not all DJ and entertainment companies. So the
okay,
program was built for business fundamentals and business basics for anybody service-based. So we have
okay,
florists and caterers and venues, and lots of different business types is what I meant.
gotcha. Okay, very good. And I'm sure that, and I fell into it, and I'm sure you did too, because I know your background starting with was it your uncle's bowling alley?
Oh, like way back when, yeah. I
Yeah.
started cutting my teeth as an MC and as a DJ. It was like the second or third place I had worked, but I got the most work by volume in bowling alleys when I was
Okay.
12, 13 years old. Yeah.
But so the cool part was you fell in love with DJing, just like a lot of people fall in love with being a painter or being an architect or owning a restaurant or like cooking or what have you. And so at some point in time you decide you think you're gonna do it differently and in your mind do it better than your competition and you hang your shingle. And the sad part is, as we know, is that 85% of all businesses fail in the first 5 years. And of the 15% that stay, half of those will fold between years 5 and 10. So Mentorprise is designed to help those small businesses not become a statistic, or I should say a negative statistic. Yes?
Yeah, I think that that's fair to say.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So, what would you say, business challenge wise, is what you think? Because we're primarily a DJ with a hospitality focus. What would you say are the biggest challenges that face the DJ community today? Like, what would you say without exposing anyone specifically? When you talk to all of the people in your program, what would you say is like the thing that people go, my biggest challenge is this?
The challenge this year
Hmm.
in 2025, early
Yeah.
2025 is different than it was a year ago, and that's that everybody came off of a high of 2022 leading into 23 with an abundance of leads. And I say
Hmm.
everybody sparingly, okay? Like
Well, I understand.
there's lots of people all over the country that are outliers, but the volatility of leads and lead sources and how fast things are evolving is now a challenge, and it wasn't a few years ago.
I agree.
So between that and everybody's continual need to learn to hire and recruit and train differently, I think that those two things are the most challenging. I think that it was very different to talk about what people would know as their average dollar sale conversion rate and lead count a couple of years ago. And now when we analyze those items, there's almost no rhyme and reason and pattern to what's happening because things have shifted so aggressively for so many
Okay.
businesses. Um, and on the hiring front, I think people are just realizing that they need to hire the right people for the business, and they were trying to wear too many hats previously. I feel like there's an awakening happening in the
Sure.
industry for that specifically. Now, I'm clearly not speaking to all our single ops out there that are still going to continue to wear all the hats, but even the
Right.
single ops are choosing to hire more and more contractors to do some of the work in the back end of the business,
Right.
and not try and do it all. But those are the two largest challenges that I see presently. They may not be sexy, but those are the ones that are affecting their business and their time the most.
Gotcha. And I'll tell you, I'm right there on the lead front. I'm right there. We have done it's either 16 or 17 bridal shows, open houses, or showcases since January 1st. And a lot of it is to not only just be out in front of the possible people that would be hiring us, but also to collect those leads.
Mhm.
Because what a lot of people fail, especially as we get older, our egos take over and we start to feel as though people should know me. I've been doing this forever. But as Sonny Ganguly shared years ago, the average American has the attention span of a goldfish. And so they may meet you at a show, they may like you at a show, but since then they've been told about 15 other DJs or photographers or what have you, or, it's out of sight, out of mind. And so as a result of that, what a lot of people fail is that when you get those lead sources in, you have to stay in front of them consistently, over and over and over again. So I just had a conversation with Eric Massengale,
Mhm.
which a lot of you guys know from Automate Your CRM. I was asking him out of curiosity where he's up to, and he said if he meets somebody with like a year's planning, he'll actually automate almost just over 30 emails just to keep reminding the client, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I'm here for you. And, you know, I said to him, I go, but how do you sound differently? He goes, that's the worst part. He goes, after a while, no matter how many times you say hello, hola, hi, whatever, in as many different ways, you're still saying the same thing over and over and over again. But he just was on two DJs, one mic, and I don't know if you saw he had a $750,000 payroll just to DJs. That doesn't include his office staff or anything else. So, he's easily doing, probably $2 million in business a year, at least 1.5 million would be my guess. So, good for him, especially with the market being the way that it is. So that's that. So what have you been finding with people with that challenge? Has anyone had any breakthrough ideas or anything that they have found that you can share that they're having a hard time getting the lead sources? Has anything interesting come out of the conversations?
Yeah. The conversation tends to lead itself into not knowing which end is up, and that's my
Okay,
favorite part is to try and analyze some of that data for anybody. So most people think about their lead sources in terms of who recommended somebody or the way it comes through, and they pick not necessarily the method that somebody came through, but who recommended them, like a referral. So the best thing that I've seen happen and the greatest success with people that are in the program, and just Casey, people that we know that are trying to figure
sure.
out which end is up, is to really analyze where those are coming from. And can you tell us for every single lead that you have, how much does every deal that you do cost you? How much does every lead that you get from every referral source cost you? What does it look like in terms of ROI for how much you spent on those? What's the closure rate for every single one of them? And once you mention these five metrics back to back, when we start talking about how much did you spend on Wedding Pro, how much did you spend on that ILEA membership and all the networking you did, it really starts to get very clear and come into focus for those. And that's the thing that seems to be happening because I'm getting more calls than ever, more than from 2022 in 23 when Mentorpods was first starting, where instead of somebody saying, "Hey, I really need to better understand my financials," more people in the initial email inquiry to me are saying, "I need to better understand whether my marketing is working because I have
Okay,
no clue right now." And
gotcha.
so that's the biggest shift in what's happening. And the aha side of things, people are finding the most movement and the most change in moving the needle with their conversion rates by understanding, just like Eric talked, we talk frequently that every single opportunity in between deal stages in your pipeline is a chance to either make or break the relationship. So
Sure.
to talk about that end of it, I know that it gets blurry in the middle. He's like, listen, it doesn't matter. I'm just another guy in the pack. I just still want to be there because I'm going to email him 100 times. That's
Right.
Eric's song and dance. I don't disagree. For those that are only sending 7 emails across it, though, the tone and the way that they deliver said information to the client is either making the client cringe or making the client, we'll say at best, not respond and hit delete and wait for the next one. But
Right.
we both know that plenty of the communication that's going out just isn't great. And we can improve that. We can make those changes happen all over the place.
Well, and I can tell you as a wedding show producer, 85% of the vendors that I give the list to, they don't even use it. They don't touch it. They don't do anything with it.
Yeah,
They're not doing it at all. And then what I recommend everyone does, any wedding show you're in, I strongly recommend that you register as a bride just to see not just what your competitors are sending out, but just to see what the industry is sending out in general, to see the vibe, the feel, like, is this a lot of graphics? Is this a lot of text? Is this, what is all of this? And kind of see even what they're drawn to. Because, your competitors may or may not be as forthcoming with you as you'd like them to be. And excuse me, and it's not rocket science, and we're not changing the world. We're trying to feed our families and put away some money hopefully for retirement and have vacation money and everything else. So
absolutely.
that's all. So now that was on the marketing side. So what are you finding with today's workforce? Is it just people are having a hard time relating to today's workforce, or is today's workforce having a hard time understanding what it's like to work?
Sales and the challenges associated with sales have a lot to do with how a business owner or their key players also handle things like recruiting and hiring. I mean, we know people, both of us, and in fact, anybody who's listening right now knows that they fit into one of these two categories. You either are chomping at the bit every single time you get leads that get dropped in front of you, and you just grind on them until you get a yes or a no,
Sure.
or you don't because life gets in the way, or maybe let's just call it what it is, you're lazy and nobody taught you any better for what it is. Hiring is the
Or
exact same way.
yeah, or
Recruiting is the
you're
exact same
afraid.
way.
That's the other hard part. I think a lot of people, they don't like rejection. I mean, I know a lot of people that they automatically assume, well, if they didn't go with me, they had to go with somebody cheaper. But they
Yeah.
never ask the question. And I'm always thought, thank you for your email. I wish you the best on your event. For our internal marketing purposes, may we ask who you chose and what the tipping point was? 50% of the time they tell me yes, 50% of the time they don't tell me. But to me, it's important feedback.
There's lots of emotions to slap into that category, Casey. I think that if we put it in that box there, that why we don't follow up or how we can describe that we haven't got good at a thing yet, it's different to look at somebody that we know in terms of sales. I don't even want to call it a killer. We're not talking Wolf of Wall Street sales. We're just talking
Sure.
about somebody who naturally isn't scared of the rejection if you're going to go in that box for being scared, or just those people that are just natural connectors.
Yeah.
Hiring and recruiting has some of the exact same traits. So
Okay.
being taught to hire, being taught to recruit, flipping the switch on for the business, and always looking for new people that are going to be great for your brand and great for your business. I do think if you want to go in that pocket about fear about things, I think some people along the way were either part of an organization when let's say they worked for a multi-op previously, or if they're a compact multi-op because they've been a single op a long time, but tried to bring on their friend or somebody else to book. There is some fear involved because of failure from the past.
Hmm. Did we lock up? What's going on? Did Matt
I
lock up,
can
CP?
no, I'm still here.
You're here, but I don't know where Matt went. Matt just disappeared on me.
Yeah, I think so. Your screen is frozen.
Okay. I'm sure he'll figure it out. And
And some people just
oh,
Oh,
you there, Matt?
I am. Can you guys see and hear me now?
Yeah, now
yeah.
you froze up for a second there.
All right.
So we're
Well, where was I
back.
at? Where do you mean to pick it up at?
You were talking about we were talking about people having fear of hiring based on a bad relationship previously.
Yeah, there's just all these reasons why somebody might be fearful, failure to launch, imposter syndrome, but it can be taught and it can be overcome, is what I
Sure.
was getting at. Just like with sales and with marketing understanding, you can be taught how to flip the switch in the business and always be looking for that next great hire,
Right.
and how to understand how to sometimes weed out the ones in the business that aren't as great as they need to be, because
Right.
sometimes people get complacent for what's happening in
Right.
hiring.
No, our friend Mike Walter is the king of it. He's always
Yeah.
looking. I mean, he met Tara when she sang at a wedding. There's a gentleman on air here in on WGN News that used to work for him. His name's Pat Tomasulo. And again, Mike DJ'd a wedding. He gave a toast at. He was funny, charismatic, talked about how he was in broadcasting school. And Mike essentially pulled him off to the side and was like, you need to come work for me. And then the nice part was when Mike came in for one of the Marquee shows, we were able to wrangle getting Pat and the news crew to come out and do like a around town with us. And Pat even said on air, he goes, a lot of things I learned from this guy Mike about DJing, I use every single day, on air and everything else. And I'll tell you, I've been blessed to mentor a lot of young people that now that they're in their 40s, when we reconnect in that, they're like, dude, I couldn't be the salesman I am if I didn't learn how to schmooze with people and win brides over and learn how to handhold and kind of go from there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that this industry is a great industry, even if we're just from a mentoring point of view. So and helping younger people as they go through college and early 20s and move on to other things as well.
There's a ton of
So
opportunity. Casey, it's changed and changing so fast and so much. There's people in mentor pods, their businesses is either their side hustle or they're transitioning out of their full-time gigs, doing something else that are doing 50 grand a year. And there's some companies that are in the multi-million dollar range in
sure.
mentor pods. And it never surprises me that there's so much similarity at all the different levels of business, yet they have so much to learn from each other because they're so different. We all
Right.
make assumptions that just because somebody's business is doing, 5 million, 10 million, we have one company who's doing, $20 million more or more in Mentorpods. That company is learning from the person who's doing 50K at
Right.
all levels of what it is that they're doing because they're just on different sides. of what's happening in that growth curve of business. It's fascinating. So
Sure.
those stories that you're mentioning about, what Mike Walter has done, and we've heard time and time again, we hear years and years later, hey, those things you shared impacted me for life and changed. That's awesome. It's coming from every side, and
Well,
is one of the
and I
best
use
parts
it all the
about
time. Our dear friend that passed away, Andy Eban,
it.
I saw him speak in 1992 at a DJ Time show. And what struck me was back in those days, it was all panels. And it was DJ number one. I'm the greatest DJ on the planet. And I have got 700 systems and I make $10 million a year. DJ number two had to outdo him, DJ number three. And then I saw Andy go, my name's Andy Eban. I'm with Designer Music in San Francisco. Let's get started. And I'm like, no ego, no introduction. I'm like, this cat's pretty cool.
Yep.
And he stuck 100% to the subject at hand. No ego, no anything. I asked him for a card, and I was blessed enough to have him as a mentor and a friend, and until he passed, in 2021. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, mentors are all around us, and as long as you're open-minded, I think we can always be learning. So there's no question about it. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
say hello to CP, who's been sitting there patiently. CP, you can jump into any conversation. I appreciate you letting Matt and I chat a little bit, but by all means, if you've got something to add, I know you're a smart guy. Otherwise, I wouldn't have you on. But for those of you
Well,
that don't
when there
know,
is so much of wealth of information that I can absorb, why would I interject that conversation?
not
You know,
interject, add to. Everyone's got something to add. So, and for those of you that don't know CP, he's with a company called Astart, which is a technology-based company where they do just a whole plethora of different things that you can have at your event to enhance the actual event. And from a disc jockey point of view, it allows you to not only upsell his products, but things related to his products, such as photo sharing, which allows you to then upsell large screen, flat screen TVs or screens or things. So I've said enough. Why don't you give them the Reader's Digest version of who you are and what your company is all about?
No, you were pretty spot on. Yes, if you look at it from monetary perspective, you're trying to, we help DJs and photo booth owners sell additional add-on services to your client for a revenue bit. But the core of the company or core of the idea is you're by giving more to your client. One, you're taking problems that they are trying to solve out of your client's hand, and you're trying to solve it for them. And then you're also delivering an experience that is going to include everyone, not just as a DJ. We focus on people who are on the dance floor. By the way, I'm also a DJ. I only cater to I only cater to Bollywood events, and I play Bollywood music. So, we are focused on people who are dancing, but what about everyone else? How do we include them? So the idea, yes, it helps you generate, the Start platform helps you generate more money, but it's all about connecting everyone at the event and delivering an experiences. And as you're doing that, you're helping your client create memories in that journey. and and yeah, our platform has many apps that you can sell as add-on. Each one does something different. Each one focuses on something different. So we do have few that are trying to like capture photos. One of them plays photos on the TVs. We call it instant spotlight. Then there's one that helps you find your photos, camera roll, and so forth. What was interesting, Matt, is as you are talking about how people are one, the market is trying to work and generate more revenue, and the year has changed, and your the number of events is seeing a dip in the number of events, and our mindset is also trying to say the same thing, that when you're going to an event, right? The funny line that I recently did a reel on. Are you leaving money on the table? And few of our industry friends have been teasing me with this name, saying, "CP, that ad was very funny. Are you leaving money on the table?" But that's the mindset, right? you're working at events. When you're delivering, you're working one event, deliver as much as you can, because that one night that you have worked for, maybe there is an opportunity to upsell your clients something. And if there is an opportunity, explore it. Yes, revenue, but you're helping your client. So go with that mindset, and see how it will help your client, and help you.
Well, it also gives you a differentiation factor. So if you have something unique that maybe not everybody knows about a start yet, or the type of software sharing that you have, or I should say file sharing that you have, and again, it makes your presentation to that group of people unique and different. So it's another very cool thing. And for those of you that are going out to Vegas, I'm happy. CP pointed out to me that we're going to be neighbors, so make
Yeah,
sure that you stop by both of our booths at the MEX show. What, a week from well, a week from today we're almost done. So,
yeah,
but this come a week from Monday.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's that. Matt, are you coming out to Vegas or no?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm speaking on Monday and Tuesday at the
Well, there
show.
you go.
Don't have a booth for MentorPods this year. The timing didn't allow it on part of it, but
Okay.
yes, I'll see you there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So, no, exciting. So, CP, why don't you share your photo sharing side of it and give it as an idea for people just to get a unique and different entertainment concept for parties.
Cool. So, by the way, there are three apps that do. So on Start platform, there are five different apps. One of them, when we came to Marquee, we had that particular app, which is called Instant Spotlight. The idea behind it is,
Mm.
um, guests at events are always taking photos, right? And I'm going to zoom out just for 1 second. Um, when you, as a DJ, when I go to events, right, I see the, just from the photo perspective, I see this happening. On one side, you have the photographers that are focusing on the host of the events, the bride, the groom, the family, right? And then we, as DJs, we provide photo booth services. Most of us do, or we are partnering with some kind of a photo booth company to bring photo booths. People queue up to the photo booth, they do take posed photos. But if you focus, if you see people in the center, right? People are always taking photos. Whether you have signs to say, don't pull your cell phones out, they are always taking photos of the bridegroom walking in, of the birthday girl cutting cake, doing the first dance, all of those things. People are capturing those photos because they like to do that. Now, with our technology, which is with our app, which is the Instant Spotlight, now you can upload those photos and as you're uploading, those photos go onto the TVs instantly, right? So one, you, and being at the event, I've seen it so many times. The bride is walking in, and the photos that were taken instantly go on the TV. So it is like real time replay. That's the kind of experiences that you will see at your own event. So that's the instant spotlight, which is, people are able to upload photos. It is packed with some 87 different features in it. I'll name six of them, and then there's many more. And depending on what you're trying to do, it can help you with that. But you can upload photos, videos. You can write messages, like photos, and when you like, it creates like a bubble burst on the screens and more very graphical kind of experiences. Um, you can also have songs requested. DJ, we want to get the song requested. You can do that. What steals everyone's heart away is, as a DJ or your assistant or somebody you nominate can actually stream live to the TV. So the bright dancing, and if you can visualize this, you have two TVs on and the couple is doing dance, and you're live streaming that to the TV instantly, right? So now your photographer is going to capture that effect where you're in the center, and your dance is live streaming on the TV. So that is some of these are some of the things that one product, which is called Instant Spotlight, can deliver. From our perspective, right, as a DJ, we are delivering experience, but to deliver the experience, you have to sell your TV package to them. Without the TV package, our product doesn't work. So that's how we partner. By the way, we are very white labeled in our service. Our app is very branded to
Company.
your event or DJ company, and so you're delivering that, and you're able to package something and deliver an experience. But we have another app. Some of our DJs came back to say, "Oh, we can't sell the TV packages that well." Okay, we have another app which will help you collect the photos, but it does something really cool with it. It identifies all the faces in the photos, and it sorts the photos by faces. So you can find your photo, at weddings, at least at Indian weddings, this is very, very common. And I don't know if you guys have been to an Indian wedding. So many people who say, you Indians take a lot of photos. So we take group photos, right? Now, how do you find all your photos that you are in? That camera roll app helps you do that. Um, I can keep going. You guys are interested
No,
to
it's
hear
cool.
more?
Well, here, before we do, Ray Hernandez is obviously one of your clients because he says on the comments the live feature is sick. He used it with LED panels just this past weekend. Simeon said, I don't do TVs. Would I still be able to do that? And you already answered that question.
Yeah.
And he said it's a sweet system. He's going to add it to his arsenal. So right away, there's that. And then big hello to Marcus Anderson, who just got his Marquee show pass yesterday. My boy Mike Francis, aka DJ Mix, is in the house. So nice to see you on board again tonight. So, on a side note, Mix, I am happy to announce that Robert Nickpun asked Bernie to marry him today, and she said yes. So that's where I was just before the show. And if you guys tune in regularly, Robert's one of our regular listeners and viewers. So congratulations to him and Bernie. And I saw pretty much the entire Filipino Chicago DJ contingent at this little dinner tonight. So it was nice. But yeah, so we've got lots of people tuning in tonight, which is nice. So CP, explain a couple of the other things, then we're going to jump back to Matt and talk more about building our business.
I want to hear about building business, and hopefully, what we are also doing is we are also helping you build business. But I'll talk about one more app, right? And this
Okay.
has been one of our really hot seller. If you go to our Instagram, the reel that has been driving us up is this one, which is
It's not the one with Howard Wallach, is it? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Howard is a great fan. Howard's reel was is also very really really important to us. Um, so as DJs, right? We go to wedding, and this is such a common thing that I hear back from our to be customers or not to be customers who um, who are quieting us out. But one of the challenges that if you go to weddings, especially weddings, right? So many weddings will have assigned seating.
Hmm.
Now, at weddings, they are still using cards like these, right, to arrange where people are going to be seated. Or they're putting such an effort to put together that mirror board and all of those things, right? One mistake, one person doesn't fit well with the other group, you can't make any changes. To solve this one, we created our third app called Seating Genie. And the Seating Genie, what it does is you bring a touchscreen tablet to event as a provider of the service. Again, as photo booth DJ, wedding planners, you can provide this service where using our app, guests can just go to the touchscreen and find where they are seated. It tells you nicely where your table number is. You can find out who else is on your table. You can get the information on your cell phone. You can find out the schedule of the event, and super simple, super simple. One of the things, and Matt, here's from your perspective, right? One of the things that come back to us sometimes is, oh, we don't do anything with seating charts. That's wedding planners. My always one of my favorite comebacks is, believe it or not, as a DJ, you are the most tech savvy person in the room. Photo booth and DJ, you guys are very tech savvy. So use your technology skills and provide something else to your client. Your client has a problem, solve it. If you solve it, you need to help. make them money. You'll help yourself make money, but solve their problem and make them happy, right?
Sure.
That's a whole mindset that we have 5 different apps today, and how do you want to package it and give it to your client and give an experience to your client? One of the apps that Matt, I heard you talk about, and our next app is about capturing some leads and lead magnets at expos and bridal shows that you're doing. And Keith has done 16 bridal shows this year already. So something that will help you capture, guests. Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, we want to help you
Oh.
capture exactly that. We want to automate that very portion for you. So our sixth app
Mhm.
is going to be something like that.
I've never seen. There's something that Casey just flashed on the screen that I haven't seen in a long time. Casey, what exactly was that? Is that
This is
paper?
this is money. This is
Is
money,
is
baby.
that
Yeah.
paper?
This is
Paper
old school.
in
Smell it just like cash. Yes.
is it like a favorite pastime of yours to have someone enter those into system from this decade? What's the deal with the paper? I want to know.
It's old school because people still like it. I have these old things called wait, what is this called? A pen. And they use the pen and they put it on the paper and they give me their info.
Listen,
So,
in all seriousness about that, I had a conversation with the MentorPods Pro people. That's
Mm,
anybody who's in year two or later. We were talking about the resurgence of paper forms at wedding shows because it goes the opposite direction. And CP, the side of business that has to do with coming up with a thing that adds value, I'm
mm,
here all day because we want to make sure that price is irrelevant and competition is irrelevant. So instead of
correct.
thinking about what it is that you offer, like an upgrade, like I coach and consult people to be like, listen, we need to add as much value as we can to make everybody else irrelevant to what's happening. So yeah, I mean, somebody who's closed-minded is like, yeah, I don't do seating charts. Yeah, but you're working with planners every single week that would probably love to use the software that you're already paying for. And you could
Correct.
potentially, which this sounds crazy, but offer it even for free because now you're getting all the jobs because you're their preferred guy. So I'm so here for it. There's a great book, Casey, called Blue Ocean Strategy
oh, I
that was
know
out
Oh,
there.
real well.
absolutely my
Okay.
Sure.
favorite books. Yes.
Yep.
So like the idea of where we're at to stay out of the red bloody chum water, right?
Yep.
Right.
Versus us just being in the calm cool. Everything CP that you do lands in that spot when somebody looks through it like the right lens, and they
Yeah.
have a choice. They can look at it like a massive opportunity and a way to expand business and value to make competition relevant, or they can look at it like another thing that they don't do or should stay in their own lane or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I'm here for it. So good
That's
for
that's
you. And
definitely
yeah,
a
So
great book. Same thing like The Purple Cow is another one.
yep.
yeah, I
Good
Yeah.
one.
love that
There's
book.
so many.
I that's one of my, like, Blue Ocean Strategy. So Matt, one interesting thing, right? And you had such an perfect perspective on that, which is, you know, sometimes I try to read what they're trying to say. What they are trying to say is this: doing something new is hard. I
Right.
don't want to do hard stuff. I want to stay. Um, One of the common things that I explained you, Instant Spotlight, it has so many features in it. It can do so much stuff for you. When you start, we explain you, just explain your client three things. That's it. Don't say anything else.
Hmm.
The sales that we don't close, we hear the same thing. I love your product, but I don't know how to explain it and sell it. Like, okay, okay. And
Well,
like,
our clients, everyone's clients, our mutual customers, like
yeah,
Casey said earlier, some people are scared, some people are uneducated. So there's an opportunity for you, for your business, certainly an opportunity for me to help other people as well. But I want to get to the place where the individuals that are building their service package to make them truly unique, that their
Mhm.
USPs are what they are. I want to make sure that every single time somebody watches them perform and sees it, they never say, well, I wonder if they do X, Y, and Z. It shouldn't even enter into their head. So, in the marketplace, when somebody sees a video DJ booth, we want to make the assumption and the connection that when you hire that person or that company, that that's what you get. We don't want to end up in a consultation where we're saying, oh, and by the way, if you want to upgrade for a few extra hundred or $1,000, you get this thing. I'm also not vying for, and I want to make this clear to everybody listening. I'm not saying that you have to be a one price package thing.
Sure.
I'm just saying let's make the concept of what it is that we offer for competition completely irrelevant, throw price out the window, and get those prices sky high, CP, which is what you help us to do with additional value and services. All day long, brother, all day long.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that if you look at most DJs' websites, they all look the same. They've got four pictures, right? They've got the romantic bride and groom, they've got an uplighting picture, they've got a crowd shot, and then they've got that classic shot of someone's hand on a turntable, and it's always the same royalty-free photo or one of like four. And every single website looks exactly the same. And I mean, and that's it. And then they've got their best of the knot at the bottom or whatever. But I mean, you talk about feeling like we're in a templated industry. It's very different, it's very tough to be that purple cow a lot of times. Um, and that's why I strongly recommend if you're going to be in a wedding show, even if you're not going to be in a wedding show, just sign up anyway, just to see what the market is pitching, because I'll tell you, I think there's a lot of misnomers. I'll use wedding shows as an example. A lot of people go, oh, those are all budget brides. All they're looking for is a discount. I disagree. What happens is when brides come through the door, or I should say, wedding couples come through the door, and every single solitary vendor is offering them a discount, they've become trained after the fifth booth to go, are you offering any kind of a discount? Because the first five vendors offered them a discount. So again, you're training a client that's never done this before. So of course they're going to ask you for a discount if the first five people have.
Yeah.
So we've become a product of our own environment, not them. Okay. And why are they looking for free stuff? Because the first five people gave them free stuff. So I've never been a discounting king. I've never been a free stuff kind of a guy, unless there was a cool, unique thing. And I don't know if you remember this years ago, years and years ago, we would have, like you have Panera bread out by you, right, guys?
Yeah.
So the soup, the bread bowls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We had a bakery out by us that made they're called a 1 pound loaf of bread. Okay. And we had them and they were all freshly made. We went and we picked up like 600 of them once for a wedding show. And we put our label on top of it. And the caption on the label said, our clients think we're the best thing since sliced bread. And we gave it out to everybody. So when we did the follow-up calls way back in the day when people would actually answer their cell phones or their telephones, and they'd go, which DJ were you? And then we'd be like, we are the goofy ones giving away the little mini loaves of bread. And they were like, oh, that bread was awesome. And I'd be like, yeah, we sourced it from a great bakery. Can we chat? Because if you thought we were funny there and it was unique and different, just think of how much fun we can make your wedding. It worked really well for a really, really long time. So sometimes I think people just get stuff for the sake of getting stuff, but if you do something that's going to make you stand out, then it fits. So,
And that's where
and
I think so that's where, groups like MentorPod come in, right? You you start, everyone starts at a point, and then you're trying to figure out, you can't figure out at that point, you have to join the some of the leaders and try to understand where, MentorPod, you guys are getting people together and having them talk, right? What are you doing? Who's selling, who's bringing bread to the trade shows? What was your responses? How did you do it? Oh, this is what you do. Here's where I copied Matt, and I said to Matt, I was like, Matt, I'm Matt, I have this right here.
Okay. Yeah. Bring it.
So, right?
there you go.
So this is where when this is where the value is, right? You learn from the industry leaders. um, my first two trade shows, I was trying to figure out like how do I make sure people stand. And then first one show I was at with Matt was Midwest, and he had these things. Second one I wore, he had these things. I was like, oh, this is genius. Look at it. Everyone can recognize, these ones, and they're like, wow, this is awesome. So I literally copied it from Matt. And so I can just imagine, how you guys are doing in the group. So, you're sharing great ideas and figuring out, hey, what is relevant to you and how do you like inspire from it or
But
There's a
even
from it.
go on, Matt.
there's a commonality between all the people that I would categorize as successful, CP, and that's that they realize that occasionally they come with an idea that's new enough because they're innovating, but most people are just building on an existing idea, just like you are. R&D, rip off and duplicate, rip off and differentiate, whatever you want to say. But everybody shares openly and they understand that somebody's going to improve on it. And I love that. I love that idea. But everybody who's in the right pocket of success understands that 50, 60, even 70% of their leads and their revenue come from repeat business and referrals. That's the magic sweet spot. So if you ever want to really be able to see in a group of people that are talking about, and you say, and you really want to test them and find out whether their business is stable or profitable, ask them what percentage of their business and their revenue comes from referral business. Because when somebody thinks that they need to keep pushing and working hard day in and day out to build new leads with these jumper cable style things, I'm talking about fueling your business with ads or with wedding shows if needed. And I'm not saying they don't have a place. Like Casey, we both know a
Yeah,
successful business should not do wedding shows.
right.
But CP, the businesses that are successful are the repeat client businesses and the ones that understand their referral networks. So then they can use the ad sets and the wedding shows and all these other campaigns that we build as jumper cables to just get more referrals. So like every time you pay for a lead in an ad set, you're not paying for one lead, you're paying for four because every single time you get a lead, it turns into four more shows down the
Right.
line, as long as the machine is running properly. So man, you nailed it. If you're around people that get it, you're gonna learn and see patterns in all the things that they're doing, and that's just one of them. In addition to ripping off what other people do politely, and then making
Right.
it your own, innovating, right?
And I think part of that is
Okay.
also being open and stepping out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you were a little kid and you met friends down the block or kids in school or kids in church or whatever, and I think puberty is where it made it awkward, but all of a sudden you're a high school freshman and you're went from 20 something kids to 1,000 kids. But the bottom line is, you know, whether you're in a Facebook group, whether you're in a professional group like MentorPods, whether you're in a think tank, whether you're at a DJ show or conference, step out and just start saying, would you want to have coffee? You want to grab a drink? You want to whatever. I mean, Randy Bartlett had to tell me once how we actually met and talked because I don't remember it. And the ironic part about it is I'm like, I don't remember any of this. He goes, you were pretty wasted. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like me about back in those days. So it was definitely it. He's like, we had like a 2 hour long conversation in the casino in Atlantic City. I'm like, Randy, I don't even remember meeting you. I just knew you were in my life one day and that was that. And he's like, we talked for like 2 hours one night. I'm like, I'm sure I was drunk. He's like, oh, you were wasted. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how you could stand talking to me for 2 hours. So most people don't like talking to me when I'm sober. So, so that's that. But no, I mean, I hope for those of you that are going, that have been to Marquee, have been to Pittsburgh DJ Summit last month, or are coming to Vegas, or contemplating going to any show, whether it's regional, local, whether it's a local DJ meetup, go in with an open mind. Be ready to share, be ready to learn. Like our friend Mars says, free your ass and your mind will follow. And you're going to walk in there and you're going to roll your eyes at a lot of things going, oh my God, Matt just told me I need to have black extension cords. Like, seriously? And again, you just know that you're so much further than a lot of other people. But at the same point in time, when something else is pointed out to you, where you start to all of a sudden, you're like, you aha moment, or something that's so simple. And I'll give you a stupid thing. When Think Tank was hosted in Chicago and I showed the guys our warehouse, one of the things we did in the warehouse was we had made laminated signs for everything. DJ Council 1, DJ Council 2, lights this, lights that. But we laminated it and then we put magnetic tape on the back
Mm-hmm.
so that we never had permanent stickers on it. And I remember George Lopez, a friend of ours from LA, his mind exploded. He's like, Do you know what a pain in the ass it is every time we have to peel off a sticker and because we've rearranged the warehouse? He's like, this is genius. They're like taking pictures with their iPhone of a stupid laminate. We took a Word document, typed in DJ Console 1 or Casey's music system, or JBL 1A, 1B. And he's like, every time he goes, the whole thing. I'm like, well, yeah, we did it so we could rearrange whenever we bought or sold something. And so again, not rocket science. By no means was it rocket science. I don't even know how we did it. Maybe it's from working at grocery stores where we were moving stuff around. I don't know, but the bottom line is came easy to me as a no-brainer, and yet guys that are businesses bigger than mine or different than mine that are doing huge events were like, this is great. So as long as you go to these different things with an open mind, and listen, Vegas is a fun town. Chicago is a fun town. Atlantic City is a fun town. But if you're gonna go, be disciplined enough to get your butt into a seminar, even if you think the seminar is gonna suck, because something is gonna resonate with you, or more importantly, someone will resonate with you.
Mhm.
And so you never know. I mean, listen, I met Matt because a mutual friend of ours convinced you to come out to a bar mitzvah open house with your green screen, and you drove from Cleveland to Chicago. I had never met you before, and all he said was, I've got this guy you got to meet. He's doing a lot of cool stuff. And you were doing a really rudimentary green screen, burn your own DVD music video, and it was cool to meet you. And that was 20 years ago. So, I mean, and that was that.
Yeah, man, we,
So,
we all need to be scrappy. And I
yeah,
want to remind everybody that the first couple years of you doing the actual circuit and networking and conventions, it's low-hanging fruit because so many things will blow your mind. The
sure.
little things like the tape on the back of the labels for the racks for magnetic labeling and stuff for racks. Like that's something that you would notice in the first couple times of seeing something, but if you're always open-minded, you're always taking note of things. It's just fantastic. It's exciting. I remember the
Oh,
feeling
1000%.
of the first couple years of just learning all these things, and then it was time to level up. It
Right.
becomes time to start learning new tricks along the way.
Yeah.
Casey,
So
Casey, there's one more thing that I want to add to the
Sure.
open-mindedness,
Of
right?
course.
Which is when you get to go to these trade shows, not only open mind in terms of listening and learning, be open to connect with even the leaders in the industry. You will be surprised. I was surprised how approachable everyone is at these trade shows and conferences, right? So,
yeah.
going out, reaching out, saying hello and talking to them, everyone is at the same level and they're open to having conversations. All of these trade shows that I've seen, people are open to having that conversations. They're like, hey, how do I do this? You don't want to raise your hand when the seminar is going on and when the person comes off the stage and you want to say, hey, how do I do this? Yeah, you spoke about Eric Messinger, right? So
Yeah,
Eric,
sure.
he spoke on the stage and he comes out and we were then, of course, I'm a techie guy, so he's like, CP, I was just thinking about this, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. You want to try this particular tool? It might help you. So people are open to having these conversations, and you'll be surprised whether you are a think tanker and running a 20 million $30 million business, or you are some $50,000 DJ who's starting this year or just started last year. Everyone is approachable. You can ask them questions, learn from them, and these trade shows have been such an amazing experiences for me as well. When you started the show, Casey, you said you met Matt at the first show, and last year was my first show at the Marquee show, right? So it was like
Yeah.
both firsts.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. And even that, like, because I had a torn meniscus this year at Marquee, I didn't get to get up and schmooze and hang. So I met you in passing, I think, at Midwest, because I didn't even go to the show. I came up and had dinner with Matt with the MentorPod group and then turned back around and went home. And then, but you seemed shocked because I picked up the phone just to call and say hey, and did what I could to also connect you with different people that I felt your product would be a great fit for, and that's it. So I mean, so it's Yeah, I mean that's the other thing, guys. You got to remember too, in life, you got to give in order to get.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be giving to get, but I do believe that when you put good things out into the universe, you wind up getting back because of it. So, Simeon actually said that he shadows and roadies DJs for DJs in his own area to learn. I think that's fantastic because again, if that DJ happens to be, let's say, a little bit below your level of performance, you can feel proud of yourself and know where you're at. And at the same point in time, even if they do something different, doesn't necessarily mean better, it's just different. Like I'm a big fan of a lot of personalization of things. I like to tell a really short, brief love story before the first dance in order to set up the first dance so that it doesn't sound like an announcement. Instead, I try to create a moment. And so, and again, little things and part of it is just studying things and seeing how things are set up. And I'm a big fan of comedy. I listen to comedy in the shower every morning. I put on my Spotify and listen to different comedians and it's funny because even in the shower, I'm like, oh, I think this joke would have been funnier if he told the joke this way. Instead of it being like, and then he had sex with the cow, it should be, and then the cow did, whatever. And so even in everyday life, just looking at how things could be, and again, I don't want to use the word better, but different. So that's all. Same thing is you may go, this person uses too much profanity in their comedy. I think they're brilliant, but dot dot dot. So that's it. So we're about 3 minutes out. So guys, tell everybody. Let's start with Matt. If somebody wanted to learn more about mentor pods, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? Other than if they're not going to be at the MEX show next month or next week, 2 weeks, whatever it might be.
Great question. Well, like CP said, some of the people out there highly, highly approachable. That's me. You can approach me anytime, any place. So if I see you at MEX or anywhere else, come say hi, introduce yourself. You can reach me. I'm very, very easy to find. So Matt Radicelli on Instagram, MentorPods on Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. And mentorpods.com is the URL. So it's probably the fastest, easiest way to understand what it is that we do. And you can reach out to me anytime. It's matt@mentorpods.com. Would love to hear from you. And if you either want to be the best or you are the best at what you do and you want to continue to level up when it comes to business acumen, understanding how to work less hours and make the same or more money and just grow what it is that you're doing, that's what we do every single day. I love teaching and helping people, and I'd love to hear from anybody that wants to continue to level up.
Very good. And how about you, CP?
Star.com. So ESSTRT star.com. I'm very approachable. It's you can connect me through the website, through our Instagram, which is start HQ, as in start headquarters, ESSTART HQ, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And yeah, if you are interested to figure out what additional experiences that you want to provide, what is out there, come check us out. If you're coming to MEX, PBX, please stop by our booth. We are somewhere between Marquee show and Ultimate Year. So somewhere in between we are there. So definitely stop by. If nothing else, you will get some of our start swag, and you can enter to. We're giving out coffee cards for, like, we are raffling coffee cards, so you can get some Starbucks coffee cards just to say come by, say hello, and you might win something. But yeah, if you are interested to offer new technology-driven experiences, take something off of your your customers, clients, event hosts plate, and deliver an amazing result back to them, definitely think about us. Look at everything that we are providing. We are growing. We are every next month, our next app is going to be out as well. So we are growing. We are adding new stuff. So definitely, like, if you have a problem, think about us. There's a very likely chance that we have something that we are offering that might really meet your client's needs.
Very good. And of course, you can get a hold of me at don't talk to me or approach me at marqueeshow.com.
You can find me at #unapproachable. No. You can find everything Marquee at marqueeshow.com. And we're super excited. We're going to be the last week of June, I believe June 23rd through the 27th this year. We are right down the street from where we were last year at the Westin Chicago O'Hare Hotel, which Matt was at in year one. So we're going to be back there, and we've got a cool little amphitheater for all of our seminars. This year, all of our demo rooms, our seminars, our show floor, everything is all in the exact same area. Super nice, and I don't want to say intimate, but we have one entire side of the hotel all to ourselves, complete with like a lounge sitting so that those conversations that people love to have all night long can continue and move on. And then we're here every single Wednesday night live and in living color, so to speak. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, CP. And John, are you there? Are we ready to say goodnight, buddy?
Yep, we're ready.
All right. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.